And we are live.
Hello! Greetings and salutations.
Welcome to more Untitled Studios nonsense.
I love the shenanigans.
We're totally
fucking lost our minds.
Go ahead.
We lost our minds. Clearly. For all of you who do not know, I am Engelhardt, and this is Stabby. Stabby.
Yes, introductions are good.
Yes, introductions, because we hope to actually have people who don't know who the hell we are, and most people won't.
Well, I could have done fucking clickbait tonight because you know the whole fucking terrorist thing in Manchester at the Ariana Grande concert. That's blowing up all over the fucking internet.
Clickbait? Going for that clickbait?
Yeah, well, I mean, are we really going to go into that, or are we going to be like the rational people like we are and be like, yeah, let's just fucking wait and hear what happens? And until then, obviously, like, we feel bad for the people that lost somebody tonight. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to fucking politic it out. You know?
Real about it. I mean, you're killing my buzz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know you didn't know. It was all over Twitter, like, for the last, 8 hours.
What's a Twitter?
For, 2 or 3 hours it's been on. It's just a fucking morass of assholes fucking pushing their political agenda, and it's like, fuck all of you.
That sounds about right.
Shut the fuck up and just wait and, let the fucking investigation happen before you make your political points. And just be like, hey, yo, fucking families that lost somebody tonight, that's really shitty, and I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all anybody needs to fucking say.
It's terrible. As I
honestly, I think there should be it's just a 48-hour moratorium on making it your own political thing. You know, when there's a terrible attack like that.
It looks like I'm going to have to do some research because I've been busy all day. This is
I would wait.
Yeah, I'm going to just go swimming in a sea of clickbait. But
yeah, if I were you, honestly, I would just wait till tomorrow to look at anything about it.
Oh, too late. Manchester?
Yeah, Ariana Grande concert. She's, I think, canceled the rest of her tour. But even with that, it's like, well, let's wait. She's obviously traumatized right now.
Yeah, for sure.
She just watched a whole bunch of people die at her concert, and there's gonna be a lot of self-blame. Had nothing to do with her. It's not her fault, but she's still gonna blame herself. What rational human wouldn't? In that kind of situation. And it's gonna be at least a few days, a few weeks before she feels all right enough to make any kind of rational choice.
Yeah, man, that's some ridiculous shit. Little side note: we have a new person in the chat. Hello, greetings and salutations. Yes, I have the chat open. Come on, what kind of scrub do you think I am?
I forgot to pop the chat out. Oh, hey, Roman, what's up, man?
I'm guessing these are people.
It's Stabby. He's somebody I know from a lot of other chats.
Oh, okay.
The chat rooms that I talk with people in.
Shows how much time I spend online, which socializing, not just drowning myself in YouTube.
I have spent a lot of time online, more than I would normally be spending, because my back was fucked up really bad for a while. So the pinched nerve was really bad. It just kept me basically laying down for a couple of weeks. So basically for a couple of weeks there was nothing but hangouts for me. It was just anything to keep me from going slowly insane.
Oh, I totally understand.
I'll tell you what though, last night there was a hangout that I lost a lot of respect for people altogether.
What do you mean?
Apparently there's a lot of drama going on. There's a couple of drama things I don't know that are going on. Sargon of Akkad is apparently pissing match with Thunderfoot, who gives a shit. Good for them. They're both annoying accents, so I'm sure they'll they'll piss back and forth, and it will take hours and hours and hours of fucking YouTube video up, and then at the end nobody will fucking disagree with whoever they were already a fan of anyway, so who gives a shit? And the other one is Jeff Holiday and Tildeer, which is funny because Jeff Holiday is super, super sweet. I love the guy. He's not real fucking bright. He just isn't. He knows a few things. He at least tries really hard, and he puts in the work, and he's one of the sweetest people on YouTube that I've ever seen. SJW thing. Anti-SJW, SJW thing. He's one of the more rational when it comes just to being willing to talk to people. And Tildir is just kind of a dick who doesn't really have much of a sense of humor. From what I've heard, I've only seen a few of his videos, and they seemed all right to me. But from what I've heard, like on a personal level, apparently he's kind of a dick with no sense of humor. And they're kind of, I guess, fighting, and I don't really care. I just know that it's going on.
YouTube squabbles.
But fucking, what was it? There's some dude named Ogre who has apparently pulled some shady stuff. May or may not have turned some people into flagged people on Twitter and gotten them banned. I'm not real sure. Just a second, I gotta fucking clear my throat here. Vamp for me.
Vamp? Wait, vamp for you? What am I, a vampire? This isn't Metal Gear Solid. Hack up along, bro. Where's that butter?
Sorry, I can just feel my throat getting real fucked up. Yeah, I've had like some congestion the last couple of days. But so Ogre, apparently Ogre's done some stuff that's kind of shady, I guess. And then fucking, so Failure Accomplished, she's like not a huge YouTuber, but kind of knows everybody. You know, one of those people that just networks and they kind of know everyone. I don't know if you remember Kamsan.
Yes.
Think Kamsan, but like without any real pop. Like he's not popular as far as like numbers go compared to.
He just knows everybody.
Yeah, but everybody will show up on his streams. And he asked him to come in to like talk it out. So then they fucking get him in there, and then this other dude, Tonkasad, just starts yelling at him the whole time. I don't know why Ogre stayed. Like, if I were in Ogre's place, I'd have left. But I just lost a lot of respect for everybody like that was in that. Because I was just like, you know what, you guys, this is ridiculous. This is just this fucking overly dramatic, junior high bullshit, self-indulgent temper tantrum nonsense.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, I switched off after like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, because I was just like, this is fucking.
I'm surprised you could take that for 10 minutes.
Well, like, you know, me and Mike fight when we used to do stuff. We get back and forth and whatnot.
No.
But like, even at the end of the day, I'd say we were still pretty respectful of each other compared to what I was seeing.
until you guys have helped us quit for a year.
So what?
You guys were fighting so damn much that we were like almost quit. I felt like that was like one of the reasons we quit for like a year.
I think that had probably had something to do with it, but mostly it was just started.
These guys gonna like fucking headbutt each other to death.
I still like Mike. I mean, there was never a case where I like at the end of the day I wasn't like, yeah, this guy's cool.
Nah, fuck that guy.
We just don't agree on this.
No.
Yeah, Robin. No, I've heard a lot of shady stuff too, but my objection is that you invite Ogre to a hangout with the pretense of you're gonna fucking bury the hatchet, and then you just shit on him and invite a bunch of other people to shit on him too.
So pretty much just lay a
trap. That's not how it works. Let me just here we go. So for somebody who's fucking done this for a living, who's dealt with like conflict and working stuff out between people that are fighting, here's how it works. In the real world, you do it in private. If it's really bad, you invite somebody who's willing to step in and just be like a mediator. All right? And you start with using a lot of I phrases, like I don't like it when, I feel bad when, that kind of thing. And you take turns. And you go back and forth and you talk this shit out like rational fucking human beings.
And you take the shit on the chin where someone's saying that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get your turn to say whatever they're doing wrong next. And you guys work it out, and you throw it all out on the fucking table, and then you work out whatever sort of resolution you can. If that means you're not going to hang out, then you're not going to hang out. You know, but whatever. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't do a live stream of it so you can fucking get off while your friend screams at somebody. Fucking suck the drama for a couple more views. That's clown shoes. I mean, that's just me, and that's just you.
No, that's just right. Yay, Mike!
Hey, it's Mike. Mikey's like, fuck that. Mike's gonna come in and start yelling at me just for the fucking lols.
Well, I wonder if he told me to like say we need to like fuck that guy. Tell him to go fuck himself. Fuck you, Mike.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to start a fight with him again, man.
He knows it's out of love that I tell him to go.
I'm having too good of a night. My eating is going too But realistically, like, no, this guy was just shouting the whole time, constantly. Just insult after insult.
That's not going to do anything. Like, it never solves anything for just, like, yelling at somebody. And it's, like, it's just, at some point, you're just like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
And if it feels like a serious thing, like if it was truly like a seriously terrible thing that someone did, then, you know, you can make sense. There's a lot of emotion involved. But half the shit that probably happens on here is probably just drama bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's plenty of shit that's worth, like, having a screaming match over. But it sounds like, from the outside looking in, one person who's just, well, pretty much the entire situation is just drama. Just fucking drama.
Yeah. You hit the nail right on the head, man. So, you really did.
See, I'm not even understanding the situation. I should probably research it a little bit before I open my mouth too much. But still, it sounds like at that point, it's just two people bitching and moaning, and one just decided to, like, set up a scenario where he's in advantage and bitches and moans the entire time.
Yeah, and for me, like, I don't dislike any of the people. It's not like suddenly I don't like them. It's just I don't have as much respect for everybody as I used to. I'm just kind of like,
yeah,
they're just down a peg in my book, I guess, which, you know, who gives a fuck about my respect anyway?
And it's also, I mean, you can do that. Like, there's people I've watched for a long time where it's kind of gone back and forth, where you're just like, really, fellas, fuck that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You don't like them for a while, and you step away. But if you really, overall, it's just like, you know, if they're not terrible people, they just have a moment where it's just like, wow, that was really shitty. Hopefully they come back around and stop being a complete douche face. And
no, I definitely give them the room to be human thing. Like, I'll watch the next stream they do, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, and I'll still think they're cool. It's because just, you know.
There's actually, you know, to go primitive technology, and say there's a radio station that I listen to in the mornings on my way to work. And they do a lot, you know, they talk about a lot of things. And the funny thing is that they talk about some serious topics a little bit. Like, I don't know, they'll talk about teachers. They'll make fun of, like, how teachers are get pissed off about some bullshit. And I think they got, what was it? Someone was made fun of for, they gave a student, this is a little fucked up, by the way, but they gave a student an award for being the laziest, and that kid ended up having ADD.
Oh, that kid what?
The kid ended up having, like, ADD. So in this scenario, those teachers fucked up. That's pretty bad.
That is a little maybe too far.
But it looked like they took that and then they just decided to shit on all teachers. And
but it's like, if they're angry about the award, just shake some shiny things in front of him.
Oh, that's so fucked. And so it's like, so I get those teachers being, you know, that's shitty for those teachers. But not every last fucking teacher is going to be like that. Like, no. There's plenty of teachers out there that are going to be like, wow, those people are fucking stupid. Or, hey, there's some kids who don't have ADD that I'd really like to give that award to.
Yeah, I had that one teacher that tried to fucking invite me home.
See, that's a different kind of award.
I should clarify, I was like 19 at the time.
That's a very different kind of award. Or I guess a reward.
You know, the thing is, though, like, I turned her down without really fully understanding it until, like, fucking, like, a year later.
Was she at least a good-looking teacher?
No, you're talking somebody in her, like, late 50s, early 60s.
Was she at least a good-looking teacher? Okay.
Not at all. I just didn't realize that she was inviting me to her house for dinner until, like, later when I was like, oh, wait a minute, that probably wasn't fucking dinner. And then I was just like, ugh.
Oh, you poor bastard.
No, really not, because at the time I just thought she was being nice.
Oh, I guess that's a good way to spin it.
Yeah, I mean, I only had one moment of like, ew, that's gross, and now I have a funny story. So fuck it works great. I mean, how much better could it be?
Not realizing that till you're already at her house.
That would be better.
Funnier.
That's true. It would be funnier.
you just being that dense
Fucking Friday Night Blues tried to like get me alone to take me home, I think, and didn't realize it. You know what? I'm really fucking dense.
Yeah, I think you are. You just might be that thick. Just that thick in the head, man.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah, we danced a couple of times. It's just like, hey, man, you want to go to like Biscuits and Blues and hang out there for a little while? Check out that scene. And like, I'm good. I like it here. I'm good here.
And then not quite make it there.
No, I don't. Yeah, I never picked up on it. And then she just looked kind of embarrassed and left. Now that I'm looking back, I think that might have been like a moment where I probably could have gotten laid. She wasn't too bad looking. It would have been pretty good.
Once again, you poor bastard.
You know, if I was that dumb, I didn't deserve it.
True. I will.
Fuck me from back then.
Yeah, that's.
You can go right to hell.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
That was an asshole.
Cause dick.
Oh man.
Oh Christ. Oh man. So I guess I will transition over to why we're starting this fucking thing so late. And
yeah.
So my what I end up doing after work, which I work at a basic 9 to 5, like a boring human that I am. I play baseball. I play once a week, but I have to practice because I want to be a good little baseball player. And so I end up practicing on Mondays, right after work. Like literally, it's get home, eat food, get ready, and then fucking go. Like that's it. Just bang bang, out the door. And so I end up being kind of a teacher about it because we play like a Sandlot style. Everybody wants to be in Stabby's good book. Everybody wants to be in your good book. Here.
Nah.
Real quick. Nah. I try to be one. I try, but I feel so bad, so I'd rather be an Angle. I'd rather be, yes, Hearth is a good person. He's a better person than I'll ever be. So I'll take that. Because also I can be a dick. I like being a dick. But my human self, my outside of Angle self, is very much trying to be helpful. And so that's the fun thing with practicing on Mondays is because it is very Sandlot, where we have people who have played the game for a long time, and we've had people who really just have no idea what they're doing. And they're just wanting to be there to learn and play and be outside and in this field. And I envy that because we've all been there. Most of us have been there as kids, but we've all been there where it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's rare to find any kind of real positive communities that are outside at this point in time anyway, too. So that's also kind of a nice thing.
And also the neat thing is that, it's an adult thing. Like when you see people like starting something out, you tend to see kids. Yeah. Like if you want to start a martial art, well, there's a good kids class, but really a beginning class for adults, it's like you almost have to join the kids. It's like that kills a lot of confidence in people. A lot of it's like because they don't want to be standing next to like a 7-year-old when they're trying to learn.
Would I have to beat the kids up if I did that?
Yeah.
just I don't see that as a bad thing.
So I get to kick the shit out of him. It's like, stop swinging! I can't. It's just instinctual by this.
Carry on. I've got to check some rates.
But it's more along the lines of like, even if you're not, practicing next to like a 7-year-old, you're practicing next to like a teenager and shit like that, where it's just like, kids are learning this stuff. There's training camps for baseball for kids, for like kids in high school trying to be pros that will never be pros.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so it's like you see that, and it's like, where the hell can I go as an adult to get practice in? Like, besides paying a shit ton of money for like private lessons, like to get one-on-one with an instructor, it's like I just want to run fucking drills. I want to take some swings and I want to throw. Like this is not hard, but you need people.
I'm just thinking parents would pay you to beat up teenagers.
Yeah, it's like, hey, could you please kick
Like
my
if you
son's
had a
ass?
class of teenagers, parents would be like, "I'll pay your fees if you kick his ass.
Yeah, please
Throw
throw
him
his
in
ass.
his room when you're done."
But I mean, like, think about that. Even with like dancing, because you and me dance. It's like
Yeah.
for you see, it's hard enough to get on a dance floor and make an idiot yourself because that's what you're gonna do. Unless you're a fucking prodigy, you're gonna make an idiot of yourself and you're gonna look silly. That's the point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the faster you kind of like get through that and just or grit your teeth and deal, the sooner you'll be able to learn and sooner you'll be able to get better.
I had the benefit of my penis making me really, really want to do it.
What?
So I worked through the awkwardness because my penis was like, "You really like that girl. You don't fucking care how awkward you look on the dance floor.
Amen.
You're just gonna learn this shit."
Preach, praise the Lord.
So I can only imagine how hard it would be for somebody who doesn't have that motivation.
Yeah,
it's like, "Oh, I want to learn dance." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fucking awkward at first."
And so I think that's what makes this group really great is because you have this scenario where it's like, hey, have you never played this freaking sport before? Do you feel really awkward for trying to like get in front of a bunch of people, like fail miserably at something? Well, this is the perfect place for you. Because we're here to teach.
So out of curiosity, does your team need like a fat bearded guy with lipstick and nipple clamps as a cheerleader?
No.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's a Yellow Page ad for the age.
And whooping any child asked for $50, yeah? You get calls too.
That phone will be going off the hook the entire time. You just like, I'm booked straight till August. And those calls are coming in now. I got jobs till the end of the year just to whip kids' ass for $50 each.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I sounded a little too sincere on that one.
Yeah, you sounded really honest about like that sounds like a lot of fun. I really want to kick that kid's ass.
I don't like teenagers, man. They're fucking smug.
Smug little bastards. So that currently was, the reason we're starting late is, I try to do that, and I try to make time for everything. So, forgive me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. But Nish isn't here, so it makes me feel slightly better about today.
Oh yeah.
So he feels even harder by, obviously having responsibilities and, having to actually do shit like a responsible adult.
Yeah, well, I mean, work is work, man. You gotta earn that fucking money. You gotta get paid. He seems like he's been having a little bit of stuff going on at work that he might not want to fuck around too much. So,
amen, man.
I can respect that.
No, I'm giving him shit.
So by the way, for our one viewer, normally we do like video gameplay or D&D gameplay on this night, and it may or may not end up switching to another night of the week. And then Sunday nights we normally do a chatterbox, which is just fucking hanging out and chatting and bullshitting.
Pretty much this.
But this it's going to happen again on Friday night at like 10 p.m. Pacific Standard time. Also, for anybody who catches the VOD, we have, I think, one other fan. Maybe one fan. I don't know. We get a couple views per video if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be Friday night again. I make it on later during the week and just make like a 1-minute announcement deal just to clarify that, because I'm the dummy that fucking couldn't read his schedule last week.
Stupid fail, fuck. Hi.
Oh, I mean, I just started. Or I was supposed to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then every other Saturday. And then they fucking immediately the next week after I start that, they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna fucking throw an egg beater in there and mix it all to hell for this month. Next month, it's cool though."
Sounds like a blast.
I get a little more hours, I think, so I'm not too heartbroken. The only problem is tonight and tomorrow night.
Yes.
God damn. The only problem is tonight and tomorrow night, I have this dude that I work with who's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Fucking, this dude will not fucking leave when his shift is over. He's fucking, he'll make shit up to do that he doesn't fucking need to do and that nobody wants him to do.
Go away. Go home.
Like, and I don't have the authority to fucking tell him, go the fuck home. Your shift is over. I get to go to sleep now. Asshole.
You're ruining my sleeping time.
I mean, seriously, right? So we make progress notes, which I work in mental health for anybody who doesn't know. And because of the kind of work we do, we get paid via the funds from the county or the state, depending on the situation. And so part of what we do is we keep notes. We keep litigious notes on everything we do for each client, so that we have something to show the county and the state to say, look, this is what we're doing. And the county and the state have something to justify on their budget why they're paying us money. And this fucking dummy feels the need to write like these super long notes that have nothing to do with his job, and then make photocopies of them and take photocopies home, which I need to talk to my boss about because I'm pretty sure he's not supposed to fucking be doing that.
Yeah, I think that's actually very illegal.
I think it violates the confidentiality of the clients because he doesn't have any reason to take those home. And he'll. So we also have this thing. So if there's like a weird incident that occurs, like say somebody gets hurt or somebody takes the wrong medication or takes something too late or too early, whatever, we write an incident report. And essentially it's just that, it's to show that we took action to make sure that everybody was safe and that we followed whatever legal obligations we have. So if somebody took off, we called the police and reported them missing. When somebody took the wrong medication, we called a doctor to make sure that they would be okay. And if not, we got them to the hospital, whatever, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
This fucking dummy. So all you're supposed to do with that is you give the original copy to your boss, and you put a photocopy in our communications log so everybody gets the chance to read it.
Yeah.
This fucking dummy puts a copy in the comm log and then writes it the fuck out again on paper, which you don't have to do and you're not supposed to do. It just takes an extra 45 minutes of my fucking time.
That sounds like
it's
fun.
Ridiculous. Like, I hate to sound like a whiny ass bitch. It's just this guy just chaps my hide.
So
it's just waste everybody's time.
So 2 things. 1, Mike's here.
Oh yeah, Mike. That's right. But he was muted, so I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure if anybody's watching, they're like, oh yeah, it's that asshole that was in the chat a minute ago.
I figured I'd show up uninvited and then we could get into a big fight.
Yay! Yeah, fight.
Not much drama on the internet, man.
You gotta add to the drama.
I saw something about Thunderfoot was like, I'm done with the skeptical community and I'm glad.
I love that shit. Every time you say community, there's so many skeptic people that just start like screaming and like fucking gnashing their teeth and pulling their hair out.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and guess he's pissed off at somebody for saying something he doesn't agree with, and now he's quit the entire thing.
Cool. Can we take most adults
do? Okay. Why? Like, is there any group out there? Is there any community out there where you agree with everybody in the community?
No, God, no.
Is that a possibility even? Like, no. So why would you?
I don't even agree with the people I work with.
Yeah.
Half the time.
Okay, so fill me in. What's a chuck?
A chuck?
Oh, a cuck?
A chuck.
Not a chuck, it's a cuck.
A cuck.
C-U-C-K-S. A cuck or a cuckold is a guy who lets other people fuck his wife while he watches.
Oh, okay.
A chuck will let you tighten like a drill.
Oh, okay. So apparently I can't talk, and I need another beer.
So where did you?
Wow.
Yeah, how do you not know what a cuck is? Like that's
because I don't let other people fuck my significant other in front of me.
Yeah, but you bang other people.
Been like the right-wing insult forever, though.
Yeah, but you bang other people's significant others in front of them, right?
Damn right.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, then you should be familiar.
I'm kind of busy when they're calling me that. So
that is one of the weirder genres of porn.
That is really strange.
Yeah.
And I
don't think I could ever film a cuck porn. I think it'd just turn into a snuff film at that point, wouldn't it?
Was it really your wife?
Everybody here, motherfucker.
Gentlemen.
You just start fucking strangling the camera guy and then go after everybody else.
Oh, I got a samurai sword.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
I don't know if it's a 5-bone samurai sword.
Yeah. Roman makes a good point. Cuck is generally used as a race-neutral version of Uncle Tom. That's a fairly accurate statement, I would say.
I forgot about the chat.
You forgot about the chat.
All right, I'm here. Chat me up. That's a thing, right?
Get a little small
Like
talk.
they say that in other countries. Chat me up.
Here,
What did you hear? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Guess this sound.
You lit a cigarette.
Switchblade knife.
You're
Penis.
shaving.
Penis.
It's a penis.
Spam?
Yes. What's the big reveal? You got a face cam?
He does have a cam.
Like,
I have
what
a
do
cam
you
with my
do?
phone plugged in, though.
But I'm also a sweaty ass mess from playing baseball. So hold on.
Mike, I don't know why he's fucking around with that. I don't know if you heard, but I was a dummy. And so Friday night, again, this week coming up for a Chatterbox. It's going to be Friday night at 10 p.m.
Okay.
my time.
I mean, if it works out like normal, I will look down at my phone and be like, "Oh shit, Untitled Studios went live. I forgot that I'm supposed to be doing something."
Oh, hey, man, it's all good. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like there's going to be some schedule weirdness just for like the next couple of weeks, figuring people's schedules out and shit, because there's some baseball going on and real life stuff going on. So
is Angle just drunk?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
So we are all good, Threx. Everything is terrible as usual. Our lives are ending.
Yep, it sucks.
We're just counting the fucking seconds, feeling the cells of our bodies slowly die as we march our way through the years to oblivion.
Just soaking it in.
We're supposed to call each other cucks.
Okay, so Mike, you sir are cuck.
Okay, you too.
And Stabby, you are also a cuck.
It's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, technically that could be true. I could be a cuck. It's entirely possible that sometime in the next 20 years I'll marry some porn star and I'll have watched her get fucked.
Okay.
That's it's not likely. Just saying it's possible.
Well, you got to be a willing participant, otherwise, like they're just cheating on you, right?
Well, I assume. Well, I watched him before I got married, not after.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, so technically, I was a willing participant then because I was jacking off because that's what you do when you watch porn.
So you're like retro cucked.
At least I hope you're jacking off when you watch porn, because I feel like it would be weird if you watched porn and you weren't jacking off.
I watched porn with a top hat, a monocle, and smoking a pipe. And just like while I'm saying that, I just go, yes.
Cuck.
Wouldn't that be weird, though? I feel like that would be weird.
Oh, definitely.
Just try to imagine just sitting there and just watching a porn from beginning to end and not whacking off.
You kind of like snuggle into your couch with like a thing of popcorn and maybe like a hot, like a warm drink or a beer. And you're just kind of like, I'm just gonna watch some porn.
Wasn't like chicken and porn a thing?
Oh, that was in what do you call it?
Like everyone gets together and just watches porn together, like a bunch of dudes.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about fucking. Somebody in our chat had to watch porn without jacking off. Man, was it weird, Thrax? You got to tell me, because I feel like that would just.
You got to share that experience, because it's like I'm kind of the square and actually haven't watched a ton of porn in my life, but I have definitely not like.
Oh, I've got videos to send you, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I bet you do. I don't doubt it for a second, and it will give me a virus.
I've watched tons of porn, but very rarely with a bunch of other dudes. Like, I never understood that. Like, we're all like,
oh, like the ones who watch.
Like, 60s or something. Everyone gets together and they get out the projector or something, and it's like, ooh, porn. Like, this is something we don't get to see often. Like, I could understand that, but we live in the modern era. Like, there is no need to share porn.
I did that. I've done that twice in my life.
What, shared?
And it was weird,
like
right?
13? Well, no, I was like 13 or 14, and I managed to get my birthday where nobody was going to bother me. And me and my friends had a porno and put it on.
Well, that makes sense, because you're little kids.
Yeah.
You're curious.
Oh, that's not quite the same. I was talking like hardcore, like fucking, there's no storyline. There's just fucking close-ups of dick in the pussy.
Yeah, you're just curious.
Yeah, porn, Drax. Oh, sorry, I was responding to chat.
Well, you see, when you're like in like early teens and you're just like trying to figure yourself out, like all the functionality. Well, think about it. You're sitting there just like I'm trying to like. He's like,
when you discover masturbation.
Yeah, exactly. In that golden era of just like, hey, this works. Holy shit.
Oh, I bet that's true.
It's just like you tend not to care about that. Like even if you're older, you're like, dude, that's kind of fucked. I'm like, I didn't care at 13. I ain't gave a shit that I'm just like.
But I did do it in my 20s as well. And that was a case where I was at a party and we were all really drunk, and I just like clicked on a pay-per-view porn because I thought it'd be funny and awkward, and it was.
I just ended up watching it.
I remember he was just like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "Because it'd be fucking weird, man." And then I just went off and started doing something else.
Like, yep, it sure will.
There we go. It's on. Let's do a thing.
Well, I was drunk, so I just immediately moved on to the next thing because that was boring already. A few people, I think, sat around and watched it.
This is brilliant. That's how young men would find out they were gay. Because they would watch their friends jerking off more than the movie, I guess.
Hey, you gotta. These things happen, man.
However way, which way you find out.
Well, is hating gay people over officially?
I'm pretty sure nobody gives a shit anymore. Like even the Republicans have like gay groups in them and stuff, man.
Ah, okay. Well, I know Russia still like has a.
Well, I think it's illegal in Russia.
Anti-gay thing still, but like.
I think there's a lot of shit that's illegal in Russia.
I feel like it's illegal, but it's probably one of those things that unless you piss off somebody by making it real public, that you're probably all right.
Yeah.
And in the Middle East, you get thrown off a roof, and that's
unless you're flaunting your gayness on purpose.
Well, I think if you're making a political issue out of it, that's when they come after you.
Or if you play Pokemon Go in the church.
Oh no! I can do one better. Pokemon Go at the Holocaust Memorial Museum.
Oh, dude, what kind of Pokemon?
Apparently, I think it was like a ghost Pokemon. I'm not sure.
Oh, that makes sense. As long as it's
like
themed properly.
Yeah. Does it have Yamaka and little like curls, like little side curls?
Oh, now you're just getting racist.
Yeah, I know, right?
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry, too much?
Why would you do that? Angle, you're always the one to bring it down.
I'm always the one to take it too far. Yeah, that's bullshit. Coming from you, Mike.
Never once said anything controversial.
No, it was still pretty fucked.
Russia is the third world with snow and iPhones.
Yeah,
kind of. I still feel like Russian police are more corrupt than our police, but we're catching up.
Yes. Yeah, that actually was a thing, though. Not bullshitting. It was a ghost Pokemon in the fucking Holocaust thing.
Ghastly or Gengar. Yeah, okay.
It should have been Ash Pokemon.
It should have been Ash Pokemon. See, that's fucked. That's still fucked. Oh my god. Or a gas Pokemon. That would be worse.
What's the difference between a pie and a Jew?
Oh god, here we go.
Delicious after you bake it.
When the pie burns in the oven, you feel bad.
Oh, yeah, because you can't eat it.
That's so fucked up.
Oh,
it was! Oh my god, okay, I totally got that wrong, which makes it 10 times worse.
And wheezing.
Oh, that's so bad.
Those names are clever. It's like Ekans is snake backwards.
And
they're so clever.
And
there's like the trash can Pokemon. It's like, well, maybe the cleverness ran out at one point.
Oh god, that's so terrible.
It's hilarious, man.
It's one of those things you're like,
it's just a stupid video game. Nobody planned it out. It just fucking happened. It's just sweet irony, man.
Yeah.
That's sweet irony.
Seriously, they did send a kid to jail for playing Pokemon Go in church or something.
Really? Where was that?
I think it came back in the news recently. Or maybe
was it in the U.S.? Because it
was in Russia.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I can't imagine that being in the U.S. Like, that doesn't...
No, like well, it shouldn't be anywhere, but,
I think they started,
what you gonna do?
I think they started adding it to shit, like taking things, restricted areas, after a while, like, pretty much that museum and, like, churches and shit.
Well, yeah, I think
hospitals.
I think all you have to do is be like, hey, this is an inappropriate place. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll take it off.
And then they take it down. Like, it's not a big deal at all.
You would think churches would be happy, though.
Because then people would be going to the church.
Yeah, people would actually show up. You know, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're getting a whole lot of extra people here."
All praise.
Figure, you know, they might only get 1 out of 100, but you know,
I think
hook them while they're young.
Within 5 blocks of me, there's 4 churches.
The first service is free, man.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous, but lots of poke stops.
There's maybe 15 churches in my whole town altogether.
Oh god, I got 15 churches on my street.
Yeah, it's very different in California.
So I got a wonderfully, slightly creepy story from South Korea. No, from my time in South Korea. So,
dude, is it about the Asian glow?
Do you know if the hooker survived?
I think it's more of like churches and just like and all that kind of shit. So
hold on, wait. Before you start your story, we need to know if you bind an Asian's feet, does it still glow?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, sorry.
Oh god. But no, it was for the chat real quick. Yeah, I think it was a coffin in the Holocaust Museum, which is really, really fucked up. Just piss poor timing or piss poor thing all around. Anyways, so Christianity is kind of a thing there. Like it's actually a pretty big thing.
Where in Russia?
In South Korea.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a ton of churches. Like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So many, and they're marked in my opinion, the worst way possible. It is a giant red cross, like neon cross.
Nice.
Just spread throughout.
It's like Las Vegas, except with Jesus.
No, it's much creepier.
Okay.
Because it's actually just like an outlined cross, but it's like blood red. Like it's
his blood, dude. They're
ominous.
Drinking his blood and eating his flesh.
Looking at that, it's actually scary as fuck. Like it's like something where it's like if I walk in there, I'm gonna walk out possessed. Like that's definitely a feeling I've had. And it's like I'm going to a really divey bar. Like it's not fun. It doesn't look fun. I don't think it would be fun.
Now South Korea, that's like way east of Maine, right?
Oh, that is super
east west.
That is
like a big fucking circle. How can it be in the east when it's a big circle? If you go more east, you're back in the west.
It's just
so is it counterclockwise or clockwise?
You got to draw that line somewhere, man. Where you start heading back where west would have been faster.
Well, figure the U.S. is the center of the world.
Of course, the U.S.
Oh yeah, center of
Praise
the
America.
universe.
All hail America.
The whole universe is off center because it's not centered on Earth. It's on specifically America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. America. America. Fuck yeah.
So what part of South Korea were you in? Was it like?
So we flew into Seoul, Incheon, which is northwest.
You didn't go to evil Korea, did you?
No, of course not. We can't. We're physically incapable of going there without getting
you can get in, but you can't get out.
Yeah.
There's one place in South Korea you can go to look at North Korea, and you got to schedule that shit like a year in advance, easy.
Yeah, and you can't even do that right now because of all like the tension and bullshit like that.
Oh yeah,
like that's cut out. Like you can't really even go to that area. But no, we went to the most southeastern part, which is Busan or Busan, which is whichever dialect or aged.
Could you actually see Japan from there?
We flew over Japan.
No, but like, could you see Japan from?
No, I couldn't. It isn't that far away. It is a shorter flight from Busan to the closest city in Japan than it is to Seoul.
Yeah.
So it is super. Yeah, evil Korea is West Korea, aka Japan.
way eastern Maine.
Northeastern
Maine. Korean Maine.
I think South Korea should just do like theaters do and just get big air pumps and pump the smell of cooking food in North Korea.
Nice.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh, that's so bad.
I endorse.
I approve this message.
Funny. I guarantee North Korea would be free in a week. They'd be like, fucking, you smell that? You're clearly lying to us. There's lots of food available, bitch.
Yeah, with the internet, it's becoming harder and harder for like dictators to lie to their citizens and get away with it.
You'd be
For, like,
surprised.
generations.
Everybody that I was gonna say, I like that every spy that North Korea sends out just defects immediately.
They're like, thank God I got out of there.
But no, here's the funny thing is that it's like you talk about restriction where in like internet, even in South Korea, there's some videos I wanted to watch where they're like, you can't watch that because I'm hooked up to a Wi-Fi that's pretty much in South Korea, and so
you don't want to go through the process of getting tore up.
No, I mean like it's through YouTube, like it's shit I just usually watch, but so I click on it and they're like, nope.
You can't watch it because it has been licensed somewhere, or like it didn't pass some sort of test to let them allow it into the country.
Well, I was just saying you could probably watch it if you used Tor.
Probably.
But it's probably
like, I mean, you could use like a proxy.
It's off my phone, so it's like it's off my phone, so it's a little harder. But it's like it's having that moment. This was probably the first night there where I was already traveling for about 24 hours straight, so I'm like exhausted and delirious. And it's just, like just trying to like drown out some YouTube before I crash out for the night. And I'm sitting there like, hey, trying to watch a few videos, and they're like, nope, not doing that one. Nope, not that one either. Like,
nice.
Fuck, man. Okay, I get it. I'm trying to find something.
So YouTube sucks even more in South Korea.
I was surprised for what was there. I mean, I don't want to watch any mukbang, but it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's pretty tough.
Actually, please tell me
it's worse in places like China.
It's probably I don't doubt that for a second. Like really, I'm sure it's very restrictive there. And actually, now that I've mentioned it, do you guys know what mukbang is?
Your what?
MUKBANG. Mukbang. Mukbang.
Yes. No.
It's pretty much live stream food porn.
The people that eat for fucking views. Yeah, no, I've heard.
Yeah, that is a thing in Korea, and that's what it's called, and it's quite popular. It's actually stupid popular. I would really they make bank doing that stuff.
Turn impressive. On your cam and do it.
I would love to do that. That actually sounds awesome.
You be the food porn guy.
But if you did like mukbang from like America, you get fucking hella money, dude.
I probably wouldn't.
Like all the Korean views. Probably not for long, but you probably get a good 20, 30 videos out of it, easy.
Probably. Yeah.
Fucking get some barbecue one time, some hamburgers, French fries. Just showcase the foods.
It would be great. It would be so much fun. Like even just like on the side, like a couple nights a week, just to sit there and just scarfing food down in front of a camera. I could do that. Like I can make some. Even if I make like $50, awesome. That paid for the food I ate and then some.
Yeah, I mean I guess some people are making $10,000 a month doing this.
Oh,
what if I didn't eat all of the food, but I at least tasted everything before smearing the rest over like my incredibly fat body? You think that would get like more views? Do you think that would work?
I think you're going to get a very specific group.
You'll get a very specific, dedicated audience.
Very dedicated audience. Yes.
Cult audience.
They'll be like, put more French fries on your nipple.
Rub that grease in deep there, boy.
Deep throat chocolate dip. I might be able to deep throat chocolate dip frozen banana. I'm not sure. I don't know much.
Stappy's next live stream will be from fucking. Was it like livejasmine.com?
my next one will be on what's the fucking Cam Girl?
Is that the thing? It pops up every time I'm looking.
My free cams.
Yeah. Live Jasmine. I was right.
Yeah, Live Jasmine and my free cams. I'll be double streaming on both of them.
That's fantastic.
3-way. Like fat stabby with fucking chocolate syrup and French fries.
All right, we're all gonna quit YouTube and go be mukbang, celebrities.
I mean, you can get the same effect from watching a couple scenes of what was it, Fat Bastard from Austin Powers? Like he was naked.
That's what I was.
He was naked in a bed, just like I think he had a baby bottle too. Are you gonna have a baby bottle?
That's essentially the joke I was aiming for. Really, was like the fat bastard thing where he's just smearing the food on his face at a certain.
He's a
point.
sexy man, though.
As one
I'm
sexy
not as hairy
bitch.
as he is, though. Close, but not quite. We'll file that under things you probably didn't need to know.
That's probably. I need to file that into things that I need to take a shower after, and not a cold one, just like a really deep, scrub it,
Hot. scrubbing.
everything,
Yeah.
Hot, soapy, wet.
cleanse, sanitize.
Cleanse.
Fuck,
Oh,
no,
yeah, baby.
It burns.
Cleanse.
Deep throat some chocolate dipped bananas.
You're
Yeah,
gonna clean it real good.
I could see that.
Clean it for Stabby.
Ugh.
I just need the showers for you forever. Oh, I feel so good about myself now. I might
Took
be
you
able to deep throat a few chocolate dipping in. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of gag reflex, so
Wait, it took you this long?
I've never tried it. I've never tried it, but I feel like it's a potential. Like it can't be that hard to do. Like I'm sure, like the first few goes would be like not real great, but
I like
After a
how
while,
it
it's
sounds
like
like
anything
you're
else, you just
legitimately
put your
wondering if you could do this.
you just put the work into it, I'm sure you
We've
can.
gone far deeper than we planned.
Oh, we made Thrax sick.
Oh no. Sorry.
Yeah.
You asked for this.
I
This
feel like I
is
should do a video and show. I should turn on the video and show how like little gag.
Roman.
But I also feel like that's a bad idea.
What is Roman? Is that the gorilla that wears like a scuba mask or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like from old movies and stuff.
I get that reference, dude. Remember that fucking bubble machine that protected the people?
No, I don't.
It's like,
but
no, I don't. I think you're crazy now.
I assume Roman might. Roman, you don't like bananas.
I get enough potassium.
I never liked them being called Romans because I think of Romans as something else.
Roman.
Like the fucking Caesar's coming for you.
You bastard. It's always Caesar, man. Fuck Caesar.
Wasn't that the dude that banged the Queen of Egypt?
I don't know.
Oh, no, that was Mark Antony. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't remember that part of history.
Oh, dude, that must have been a huge thing when like an emperor and an empress from different kingdoms are banging.
It's like, do you remember that one time where Caesar railed that Queen of Egypt? It's like, yeah, I know. I totally remember that part of history. That sounds awesome.
It's monarch porn.
Porn. Oh,
That's kind of a crazy thing though, because like imagine how much traveling and like people probably died getting
definitely,
them both to each other to fuck.
You died in the honor of him getting laid, and you not.
Yeah, your fucking king wants a booty call from Egypt, so they fucking you got to go fucking.
They assemble
throw
an
yourself
army.
against some
you know?
bandits fucking
It's like pigeon booty call. Like the bird flies in, you're like, "Oh my god, Queen of
and then
Egypt is calling me over. She says her
and then
parents are out."
3
for the
months later, you'll arrive at your destination.
She's gonna be wet as shit in like 3 months.
Yeah.
I better get on that.
Which, looking at it like that, we can travel across the world in a couple hours. Like we're superior to the kings of old.
No. So we have succeeded in thoroughly tainting freaking Thrax.
Like they needed think about it. They needed servants for all the stuff that just shoots out of our walls. Like we got electricity now and fucking water. Like they needed servants for all that shit. Like we live better than the kings of old.
Of course.
We're living in the future.
I just from a food perspective,
Future.
all the food we get at the store is usually edible. It's virtually never that you get food from the store and bring it home and you're like, oh, that's rotten.
And everyone dies from it.
Yeah, well, nobody dies from it. You just throw it away because you got so much food it doesn't fucking matter.
Or it could be like Oregon Trail and you just get dysentery.
Oh no. I tried to ford that river.
Nope. You got
It was like,
dysentery. You crossed the river, dysentery.
Whole family dead.
You talked to some Indians, dysentery.
The river gave you dysentery as you crossed it.
You shot
Damn
some
it.
buffalo, dysentery.
Oh God, I saw a family kill a baby seal.
Did you club it?
To the club, yeah.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
it was on YouTube, so they didn't club it to death. They found it on the beach. So they were like, "Oh, it must be lost. It was raining, so it must be lost now." And so they just went and put it in the fucking water.
Okay. Nice.
What? Moms leave baby seals on the beach for like hours and hours on end while they go hunt because it's safer.
Because
Okay.
So they basically just went and put the fucking seal in the last place it should be, where it's probably never going to find it.
It'll be in the dangerous area.
Oh well, that's not like you let it die by like or you killed it by like walking up and beating it in the head or shooting it out.
They still murdered it.
Well, it still can find its mom.
They just fed it to a shark, dude.
You never know that unless the shark like gobbled it up like right then and there. You're like, it could find its mother.
No, it's really unlikely.
All right, fine.
No, the baby seal doesn't have the skill. It just doesn't have that like ability.
Okay.
If it got back out on shore after they left, maybe the mom might find it, but the mom is going to go back to where she originally left it, and she might have approached from a completely different direction.
I will not believe you unless I see a body.
The baby seal fucking died.
Like, that baby must survive.
If it was lucky it got eaten, more likely it probably just starved to death.
We're superior mostly because we aren't inbred. How do you know we're not inbred?
Yeah, we're totally inbred, damn it.
We're inbred to the core. Wait.
We live in Maine.
Well, there was a fucking study that said there was benefits to fucking your cousins.
I'm
Really?
sure there are benefits and non-benefits as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't go any further into that. I just saw the article and was like, well, that's fucking lovely, and then moved on.
I prefer genetic diversity.
I prefer not throwing up in my mouth.
Oh, well, yes.
So it really doesn't matter.
What if they're separated at birth and then they find each other later and then they're cousins?
I don't have to worry about that because I know all my cousins. They're all men. So it's never going to.
What if you're gay?
I'm not.
What if?
Then it doesn't matter because you can't reproduce anyways.
I live an hour from San Francisco.
If you became gay tomorrow, would you make out with your cousins?
If I became gay tomorrow, I'd just drive to San Francisco every weekend and fuck a new dude like every weekend.
This isn't the podcast you get. This is the podcast
you call them
deserve.
Your cousin after?
Like it would just be like nonstop rivers of dick in fucking San Francisco at the gay bars.
Rivers of dick.
Rivers of dick.
Just picture that.
Just be like,
they had to build a Golden Gate Bridge to go over all the dicks.
It's like just take a moment.
Dicks just slapping my face constantly.
Just take a moment to picture a river of dicks.
No, Roman.
I'm not sure if that's how that works in San Francisco.
No,
I just like
Roman's leaving. We just lost all of our viewers.
Oh no, we still got Thrax, even though he's probably thoroughly dealing with being traumatized.
Yeah, but he'll leave now too.
Good night.
Yes,
Bye.
Thank you for joining us, but we're not quite done yet.
I figure another 15, 20 minutes or so. That's cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Don't want to go too long. Don't want to go too short.
Oh yeah.
Just right.
We're pretty much like, this is pretty much the Batman of podcasts. It's not the one you want, but it's the one you deserve. So this is pretty much just what you're gonna get.
Or it's like, or it's just right, like fucking Goldilocks or something.
Oh yeah, we're the Goldilocks of podcasts.
We're the Goldilocks of podcasts.
I have a thing I just realized. I can't see who's in the chat.
Well, you're a fool.
No, it won't let me do the thing where you check participants. Because I think it might just be us three in the chat right now.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
We're the only audience. We are our own audience.
Ah, good.
Of course. We're always our own audience.
Maybe I should just turn it off then. Oh, Thrax left us?
I think so.
I think we scared him.
I've always hated Thrax, by the way.
So this is for those who watch, who end up watching later. If you join us, we will talk to you. We'll talk to you directly, and it's going to be weird, and we're going to make it awkward, and you're probably going to throw up in your mouth a little bit because that's what we do.
But that's the fun of YouTube.
That is the glory that is YouTube.
Yeah.
We are the river of dicks.
Yeah, we are the river.
You join us, you get to float through the river of dicks.
When you realize that there is no river, you are the river of dicks.
Yeah.
Then you're not bending the river of dicks.
You swim upstream that river of dicks.
No, that's a dick or something.
Roman fooled us all. He just leave it running.
Plot twist.
We're desperate enough for anything at this point. Scratch your back.
We're desperate.
Please.
Don't worry, we'll do something in the backseat of the car for an extra $30. 20
Nice.
for 20
We
if you
don't
talk
have
nice
any
to
of
us.
getting that money. You don't fucking do anything. We don't have any of those things.
Oh, okay.
We don't have super chat. We don't have ads. We don't do any Patreon. Fuck that nonsense. We don't have enough viewers for that. Even if we did, it probably wouldn't be worth it at this point in the game.
I'll just whore myself out. How's that?
Hey, man. I've always wanted to be a pimp. I think I still have the pimp hat
Well,
somewhere in my...
I think the time to start taking donations is when you've had like the 50th person like, where can I leave a donation? Like you
Yeah.
don't go out asking for them. Like when a bunch of people are asking you where they're at, it's like, all right, fine, I'll fucking
I've seen a
Put a
lot of
thing
people begging for donations, but usually they're chicks, and they'll send you like, at the very least, topless
Pictures.
photos in Twitter and stuff if you donate enough money.
nice.
So if you send them like X amount of money, they'll send you some nudes.
I can get naked pictures like without doing that, like
I-
far
I-
easier.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with your logic, sir.
No donations needed.
The internet is for porn.
Yeah, we gotta shill the show more and invite more obnoxious assholes. Hey, I'm the biggest, most obnoxious asshole there is, pal.
Roman, you are close enough to an obnoxious asshole that we can get. So we appreciate your viewing and
wants to be
appreciate
on.
you bullshitting with us.
If we shield, then people would watch, and we'd have to make quality entertainment.
Yeah, we're gonna actually have to do a good job.
We'd
And I don't have to get slightly intoxicated to actually have a fun conversation. I'm
Yeah.
solely sober when I do this. What are you talking about?
It's almost pointless if your goal is to get a bunch of audience members, then you have to be shouted out by someone, or you gotta like ride the wave of success from one place or another. It seems
I
seems
piss off
very
a lot of
rare
people.
that a grassroots YouTube channel just takes off anymore.
I piss off and creep out a lot of people that have bigger audiences. It's not the same thing, though, is it?
That's a way to network.
Yeah, there you go.
There
Get your
you
name out there.
Let me trade it
no
on that.
go. Way to way to work that.
You know that
system, man.
troll? You know that troll that keeps telling you to take your shirt off?
He has a YouTube channel, right? Him and a group of guys all bullshit for an hour and a half.
You know,
Okay,
I
well,
the worst
Roman makes a valid point. There's plenty of fucking popular channels on YouTube that make no quality content whatsoever.
Amen.
The
So
worst ones are like
Amen to
mediocre DJs. They're like fucking morning drive DJs that probably wouldn't even make it in the fucking radio world at this point, but somehow fucking found that dull fucking monotone hum that just connects to like just dumb people.
the dumb freaking
You know what I'm talking about? It's like sort of like it's like the fucking Oprah hits it. Some people just learn how to hit that fucking frequency that just fucking zones out the dummies, where they're just like,
That's
like the whole show.
Well, I mean that's a what did they hit? It's like Hitler used to do the same thing. He used to entrance audiences.
And there comes-
I'm
here comes
comparing
the Hitler.
Oprah to Hitler. Here we go.
Oprah to Hitler.
Oh boy.
But no, it's like there's a psychological thing where some people are susceptible to just being hypnotized by a speaker. And the speaker can pretty much do fucking anything and say anything. And once they're in the zone, like they're committed, they're not gonna desert the speaker just because they say one or two things that seems a little odd. You know.
Oh, but
They can-
it's
they can
the
overlook those.
soothing sound of my voice that keeps people coming.
He
back.
wants to make Germany like strong again, and we're gonna have a great economy, and we're gonna kill the Jews. Wait, no, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, we'll let
There's
that
not a
one
lot of
slide.
Jews,
We agree
right?
with the rest of it.
Yeah. Wait. What about that last one? Nothing.
It's like the legislation game where it's like, here's a bunch of positive legislation that will fix
Here's
a bunch of things.
Where we take away all of your freedom.
And
Yeah,
here
and
comes
then we
politics.
stick something in there and be like, hey, no, we should still vote this in, right? And it's like, no, this
You
is
don't
to
hate
kill the Jews.
patriots, do you? No, I don't hate patriots, but you're taking away all of my rights. You hate patriots.
Yeah, you hate America and you hate the soldiers.
We hate all the Patriots.
That's what I hated
that
the
football team's
most.
a bunch of bullshit.
If you didn't support the war, that meant you hated the soldiers and wanted them to die. And it's like,
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure if we don't go to war, they might not die too. Like
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was fucking ridiculous.
there's things there. We could still support the troops and not want them to go to war.
Maybe, just maybe, by not wanting a war that's pointless, you want soldiers.
We are supporting the troops.
You are supporting the troops more than the people that want war.
Stabby, shush. We're getting too political.
Oh yeah, goddamn.
Shut your face.
Politics.
We're gonna hate each
So
other.
I was like, oh wait, here we
We
go.
actually agreed on a political point.
What?
Why do we hate babies and baby soldiers? Well, I don't. I think they're delicious, honestly.
I know, man. I that's got to
Hey,
be.
baby.
You have
I'm
to have like a special situation where you're gonna have a baby soldier
I'm
like
a
that.
baby eating atheist.
You got to make sure that you have room in your stomach because that's very filling. And you don't
Punch all
want to
the
eat before
babies.
that. If you fill up on like breadsticks or salad beforehand, then you're not gonna have enough room for your baby soldier.
Dude, those salad and breadsticks are the fucking like I'll go
they're-
there just for that.
And they're endless.
Yeah. Like $6.
I know, and we're talking about how Olive Garden serves baby soldiers.
We've quit the pretense. We're talking about Olive Garden now.
We're talking about Olive Garden.
Specifically.
Olive
I've been
Olive
there, like,
Garden sells baby soldiers.
Olive Garden sells baby. Are they good? Do they taste good?
Yeah, are they
Yes,
delicious?
They are fucking delicious.
Do you get
Nice.
to punch them?
No, they're already brought cooked. in.
You can, but we don't like talk about that usually.
I want to punch a baby.
It's a secret menu.
Okay, Steffi's just saying he wants to punch a baby.
Okay, I'm bullshitting him, but that's just creepy. Yeah, breadsticks are always a trap, man. That's how they get you. Endless breadsticks and salad. That's
You
the
fill
shit.
up on the breadsticks, and then and then you don't get as many of the other stuff.
And
and then-
I'm the guy.
and
I'm
then
the
you
guy that
pay
gets-
$16 for a meal that you can't finish.
Oh no, I'm that asshole that picks like the cheapest fucking thing on the planet, and then just like fills up on breadsticks and salad, like the
Nice.
smallest thing.
The
Yeah,
salad's only
Their
filled with
salad's
one
only
olive.
one
Yeah, it's the Olive Garden, not olives.
yeah,
Olive
it's
Garden.
You get
yeah.
one.
They take that a little too seriously, where it is just like Olive Garden. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Singular.
Give me one more goddamn olive. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so-
eat another one.
I literally went to Olive Garden last night
Did you get more than one olive?
for my birthday, and it was a fucking disaster, by the way.
Yay! Happy birthday!
But
Happy
we
birthday!
did get more than one olive. We got
There we go.
3,
Oh shit.
one for
damn.
each person at the table. Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
so we
that
still got
is-
one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, one apiece.
Okay, we still got one.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Damn it.
I thought you had my hopes up and everything. I was so happy that you got more than one olive, and then you
They
just, it
count the
just
people that
shattered
got
my
their
dreams.
tables when they're making the salads, so that they only give you one olive per
Yeah,
person.
each person gets
Like that's how
Hold on.
they will return if they are.
like 3 olives, 3 people.
They got to make sure to ask how many people sitting at that table because man, if they give one extra olive out, then they got to give everybody an extra olive, and it's
Oh,
just
dude.
not going
Now,
to
Mike,
happen.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll ask both of you. Do either of your guys' family have the thing where the first person to break down and use the bathroom it's their birthday that night when you're out to dinner somewhere?
Oh no.
No, I don't
Because in
play
my
that.
family, you don't want to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
If you go
okay.
to the bathroom, it becomes your birthday that night.
Oh, my
That's
family
hilarious.
sucks, dude. Like,
It's
don't
like
think-
every time I've ever gone out with my family, they're like, all right. Somebody would be like, I got to go to the bathroom. It's not my fucking birthday.
well, here's the thing. Do you hate your family?
No. I hate
Uh,
restaurants. I really hate going out to
There's the
restaurants. I
difference.
do not like it.
Well, we hate you.
I that was
You're a
besides the
restaurant
point
now?
angle.
I don't work in a restaurant ever, but people are like, I hate fucking restaurants. They're like, you make us work so hard.
How do I make you work hard? You
Angle
don't have
is
to make
every
anything
restaurant
perfect.
Stabby's ever gone to. He took it personally.
I cook better than restaurants, in my humble opinion.
Well, probably healthier.
Absolutely healthier. There's no questioning that.
Yeah, that I don't doubt. I will not fight that at all. Because man, the amount of butter, like I worked in an Italian place, the amount of butter that goes into stuff is ridiculous.
But it's so good.
Oh yeah, it tastes so tasty. It's so fucking good. But
You know, heart blockage tastes delicious.
oh yeah, no, my heart slows down slightly, like just ever so slightly, and you can feel it.
No,
Oh,
romance
man,
saying
it's
goodnight for real.
Yo, good night.
You look like a human, not a Roman. It's funny because it's a line from the movie. They had a bubble machine that protected them from the deadly rays. The end.
That's all she wrote.
Oh man.
We should just Roman. You tell us when to stop the show.
Yep. Once he's gone, that's all we need.
Fucking man, I made some fucking chicken and beef fajitas last night.
Nice.
I just took chicken and beef, cut them up, put them in separate bags. Obviously, chicken in one bag, beef in the other.
Nope.
I threw in some fucking Mexican grilling onions and some bell peppers into each bag, and then I just fucking squeezed in like the juice from 3 lemons and the zest from 3 lemons, and about a teaspoon of soy sauce, and that was the fucking marinade for it
Some
all.
lime.
And then you put your junk in.
Nothing else, man.
No.
I didn't marinate with anything else. If you don't put anything else in, the acids from the lemon juice break down the meat and make it tender when you cook it. And it works a little better if you do it that way. Otherwise, you have to put it in meat tenderizer.
Thank you for joining our segment, Cooking with Savvy.
Yeah.
And then I just fried them up real hot with a little bit of, garlic and salt and pepper. And fucking, I threw in another onion, like a fresh onion, half in each of the.
And then you start the live stream and you eat it in front of everyone.
And you just fucking use some tongs, put some onions and bell peppers and beef or chicken on a fucking little soft tortilla, and you're good. Instant fajita. Doesn't need anything else. I like a little sour cream, but
Instant.
oh yeah, instant, yeah. For everybody else in my family, it was instant. I had to work at that shit.
10 minutes later, instant.
Yeah, and I make some really good. I roast some great stuff. I like good beef, and I do great pot roast, good chicken roasts, and good pork.
What is that Korean thing where they eat on camera again?
Oh,
yeah,
mukbang.
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 We've officially transitioned.
Yeah. I do a really good barbecue rib that doesn't go into the barbecue. That's probably the best you can do outside of actually smoking them.
It's interesting to actually hear about that because it gets like for some people it gets a little like more intimate, but it's for a lot of people who end up living alone. It turns into more of like a.
I'll be your friend on the computer screen.
It's kind of that because
you tune in every night and you can have dinner with me and we'll talk about your day. I'll listen.
Sadly, it's kind of what it is. Like as much as you're making like kind of making.
I'm not really joking, but I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like you're joking, but it's like it actually is kind of a thing.
Joking
like,
with the truth.
Yeah,
it's Asian culture. There's a lot of people work themselves half to death. Asian culture. It's a big thing.
And so it's like they want to have time to like sit down at a table with somebody, and
they work themselves to death.
That.
Then they go to their like 6x8 sleeping pod.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then fucking go back to work.
Like what was it? As my brother has explained to me with what he's seen, that he's found people like straight up like asleep at a table in a cafe.
And that's looked up on. Like you look up to that guy.
Yeah,
he's working hard.
Because he's busting his ass. It was actually
working hard or hardly working, am I right?
And I'm sitting there just like, how the fuck do people work themselves this hard? This is ridiculous. It's how it is.
That's their culture.
Well, and the great thing about it, though, that is really nice about Korean culture specifically, is the older the guy is, the more you have to listen to him.
Yeah.
To the point where they'll just slap you around and shit.
Nice.
So the young ruffians go around and try to act tough and fucking mess with people. Like the old men will just go slap the shit out of them until they
just go, what is wrong with you?
Get your shit in gear, boy.
They will. They'll just go beat them with like their hands or with like a stick or something, and it's totally fine.
Damn. But no, that was an experience. And watching, there's like a video that you can watch, like a little documentary sort of thing on Mukbang.
It's a similar issue in Japan. That's part of why Japan is having so much problem with breeding, with making the next generation, because they put so much energy and time into just working.
Yep.
They don't have a social culture anymore, really. Even it's just like binge drinking and working.
I wouldn't say they don't have a social culture. It's just way different than ours now. Like
being able
But
to.
it's gotten to the point where there literally might not have enough people to take care of the next generation.
oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's not a healthy social culture.
Yeah.
That's probably a better way to put it. But it's interesting to think about because it's just like, wow, that's really bizarre.
I actually saw
or
YouTube.
different, not bizarre, because that puts a negative spin on it, but different. Because
It is negative though. That's a really negative thing.
well, no, like calling it bizarre because it's not bizarre because it's bizarre because it is.
I mean, more countries could learn a thing from having less fucking kids. Like, overpopulation is a problem, but having so few that your society can't work anymore, that's not going to work either,
Yeah, there's got to be a happy medium.
Well, it's like the fucking. So there's a lot of things I'm conservative on, but the fucking green energy thing pisses me the fuck off. Because the conservatives are like, well, solar energy won't work, so nothing else is possible. You're like, the fuck are you talking about?
Solar energy won't work.
Number one, it does work in a lot of places.
Yeah, I was going to say it helps,
and it's not the only option.
Yeah.
So why not, work with all the available options?
Yeah, well, gasoline and oil doesn't like we need to supplement. Like, there's not one single thing that's going to take care of all of our energy needs in all areas
There's
of
a
the
whole
world.
bunch of options that we can use.
Exactly.
That if we use together, we could replace like 90% of the gasoline and oil.
Nah.
Which is funny because like if large companies, I always wondered about this one, and fill me in if you know, or anyone who watches this in the long run like ends up knowing a little bit. It's more along the lines of if big companies, big gas companies, who like just really don't want this happening because they don't want to shift away from gasoline.
Yeah, why don't they invest?
If they throw money at this, and like they can, I put a lot of doubt in the fact that they can't do it, that they're like financially unstable enough where they can't do it. I doubt that highly.
They can't do it and maintain like the ridiculous amounts of money they want to pocket.
Yeah,
but
I think the problem is.
I think sorry.
Oh, go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Okay. To at least to like invest enough to get it started, like to at least like get a nice chunk of that like area going.
They're afraid of taking the next step, but it's like preventing all of us from taking the next step isn't going to help you in the long run either. And it's like if you take that next step now, then you'll be there and on the ground floor, ready to invest and profit just like you have been from the previous fucking economy of oil and gas,
Yeah, because
the thing is they can't possibly justify the same percentage of profit. That's the problem.
Maybe they don't deserve this fucking.
Oh no, they don't. They're making right now. They're price gouging as it is. Like they're basing it off of futures and not off of actual real prices now. So they're making like 400% profit per oil barrel of oil, which is frankly should be illegal, but our government just sort of goes with it.
Well, the government is,
corrupt as fuck.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it in those terms, but
I'll
sure.
be honest, half the reason I wanted Trump to win is because I hoped we might end up just killing everybody in the government.
Damn.
I just kind of hope.
I really, if Trump had won and he actually did make things better, then it's like, yay! Like we wanted the vote for Trump was a vote for we want something different. Like that's everyone I talked to anyway.
Clinton scared the shit out of me.
Thought they wanted Trump in because he was going to set the system on fire and he was going to change things and we were finally going to get something done. Damn it!
Oh, he did set it on fire and he did change things.
Yeah, but positively.
Well, the unfortunate thing is a lot of the stuff he's been trying to do has been being legislated by the bench, which I don't know if you know what that term means, but it means the judges have been completely in
enforcing the laws,
opposition to our actual laws.
Yeah,
handing down decisions to stop his presidential orders that are perfectly legal. And it bothers me not because, whether you agree with what he does or not. It bothers me because they're essentially changing the laws. The judges are writing new laws.
Yeah.
So like the travel bans were completely legal. Like, that's completely within the Constitution. Like, according to the Constitution, the president could literally be, yo, I don't really like black people. No more Africans. And it's completely legal. And there's really no way to overturn
maybe that shouldn't be legal then.
I'd like to check.
I'm saying whether you agree with it or not. It's basically they're put in place so that in an emergency situation, the president or the Congress can both go just like, look, we can't take people from here anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even if the people want them, they're supposed to be able to be the stopgap to say, look, no.
But that decision should be able to be overruled at one point, though.
I think there's ways that Congress or the president,
like Congress or Senate or something.
Yeah, I think there's ways that can be done, where it can be overruled by either Senate can overrule the president, president can overrule the Senate.
They're fighting dirty because they feel like their opponent is also fighting dirty.
Absolutely no business making the decision.
So everyone's fighting dirty now.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Depending on what it is, and I like to read that a little more thoroughly. It's like if it is considered unconstitutional, because there is a sense of checks and balances with power. The judicial branch has the interesting thing with the judicial branch is it's not
Supreme Court, but it takes it forever to get through there, so it basically makes it pointless.
Wait, why does length?
So if you have a travel ban, because right now it's dangerous to be bringing people in from certain countries.
By the time the legislation gets through, it'll be.
He only wanted to put it in place for 6 months.
Yeah,
I like how we get back to politics somehow.
No, I'm just saying, but like, he only wanted to put it in for 6 months. So by the time he would get it to the Supreme Court, it
would be too late.
It would probably be the end of his first term. Like, he would be looking at running for a second term. That's why he wrote a second order to essentially accomplish the same thing, but changing a few things enough that it would still be in the order. And one of the things you have to keep in mind is that the court that overturned these was the Ninth Circuit Court. The Ninth Circuit Court is one of the worst courts in the country for being overturned.
Yeah.
They have an 80% overturn rate, which means 80% of the decisions they hand down are directly in violation of the Constitution.
I know that.
And they're not even the worst court. There's 5 worse in the country, 5 worse than them.
Nice.
That's why they're not the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but then they look at the Supreme Court.
Well, the Supreme Court's shit too, though.
I've seen videos where like 2 of them are fucking asleep in the middle of fucking proceedings.
The problem with the Supreme Court is you're elected or you're appointed for life. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Why would that ever be the case?
It should never have been more than 10 years.
And
at one point you're too fucking old, you know? Like, you're no longer lucid enough to make proper decisions. Yeah.
In the middle of fucking cases.
Yep.
So there's somebody sitting there talking to them and explaining their case, and you just see 2 of them with their heads fucking just over and they're fucking snoring.
And they're like, I need my shit bag changed now, nurse.
Yeah. Thank you. This is how my rights were violated by X law. How fucked up is that?
It is it is a very funny entity that is the judicial branch or Supreme Court, because it's like because if you think about it, it's like there's the life term law. There's actually no true grounds to who gets elected besides the president choosing a candidate.
No, there is. The president chooses a candidate, and then it has to be confirmed by the Senate and the representatives.
There's no besides that. There's no like true.
Oh yeah, the people don't. It's through representative election. Yeah.
Yeah, it is literally the president could pick anyone.
There's no qualifications.
You don't have to have a law degree. You don't have to be of a certain age.
That's supposed to be balanced by states picking their own courts and judges and stuff.
As my pre-law teacher went pretty much said. He's like, you could pick a dog.
And they did.
You could pick a dog, and you could say, this dog is really sharp, man. I think this dog would understand the law and the laws of our land well. And so if it passed through Congress, then they would definitely make it. And they would be a judge. Like
I think there was a king that like appointed a horse as his like consultant or something. like that level of being able to appoint anything you want.
Oh, that'd be glorious. Can you fucking imagine that shit?
That'd be cool.
Just have a banana.
Mr.
All your counselors are such assholes that you're like, you know what? In order to make a fucking point and put all you cunts in your places, you know who's going to help me make all my choices from now on? The only person who's going to have a say in it? The fucking horse. Right? You guys have to shut up and listen to the horse now.
Yeah. You want to
Force is
convince me of
harmful.
something? Go talk to Mr. Ed, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not
Wilbur.
fucking listening.
Is it weird that I honestly think a dog might do a better job than most of our judges?
There's some pretty bad ones.
But that's and there's
I
some
don't
pretty
know
good
about a dog.
dogs.
There's some really smart
There's some
dogs out
bad
there.
judges and some pretty good dogs. So I don't know.
Who's a good boy? Who's gonna
I
make
mean-
a good court decision? You are. Yes, you are.
I think Trump has handled that incredibly poorly, in my opinion.
I think instead of a presidency, we should have like a presidential council.
No.
Like the idea of electing like one dude to run an entire section of the government.
We need some way, shape, or form in which, in case of a military situation, there's one guy who makes the call.
Yeah, the generals. Like
No. It has to be like one guy.
It has to
who
be
makes
one
those
person.
calls.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is if
So if
General.
we had a council, there'd have to be some
I don't
sort
want
of people
Trump
above it.
making the fucking military decisions is the problem either. I want the generals making those decisions.
Well, no, here's what I'm saying. Like, if we had a council, as long as whatever system was in place with a council had at least some sort of thing that immediately in any kind of military situation, the council is all answers to one guy and he makes all the calls. So that it, like in normal times, it's it goes to the council, but in one very specific situation, there's one dude that makes the call or one lady or whatever. There's just
Yeah.
one person.
I just put a fucking general in charge of that shit.
See,
They're the
that's tough
military
part
guys.
is because-
I don't want a random dude that we elected to be in charge of the military. I never liked that idea.
Well, it's more along the lines of you want that person who pretty much represents us. Like that's the thing that
No.
makes exactly that's the thing that makes this a little sad is because we're sitting there going like this is the person we want to represent us.
Yeah, I think the cabinet is essentially supposed to be like the sort of, what do you call it? Sort of
They're like the consultants that
Yeah.
the-
Because I mean, as much as the president is kind of like the figurehead of the country, like this is the person that we've elected, the one individual that we want to have a particular set of powers, and they do have a particular set of powers. The thing
Yeah.
is that they still need the Congress and they still need the judicial branch
It
to
sounded
keep
like
everything in
Batman
check.
for a second. He's like, I've got a certain particular set of skills.
No, that's Liam Neeson.
Well, I think that
such a
essentially
set of powers.
the cabinet is sort of a nod to the council kind of concept.
Yeah, and
But it would be nice if maybe the cabinet were elected officials and not appointed.
Yeah, I like the idea of like having a couple people there to regulate the crazy a little bit.
I think can't the Congress approve or deny the cabinet members? Don't they have to go through the same process of
fuck, I have
Within a
no
certain
idea on that.
extent. So there's a process that they go through, and the Congress can shoot them down, but it would take extraordinary circumstances. It almost never happens.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I feel like people just need to be a little more strict on that.
And here's the thing, and I think after you hear this, you might understand. I think more why Mike wants a council as opposed to a president. Were I in Trump's position, making the travel bans like he did, and the court overturned them, I would have simply enforced them anyway. Because there's nothing the judicial branch can do. They have absolutely no authority.
They can't legally
No,
do it.
they do. They actually
No, they
do,
don't.
and they've proved that from the beginning.
They have no authority to enforce their decisions. They can hand decisions down, but it's the executive branch that enforces them. It's part of the checks and balances of the Constitution.
And
The president
there's
can literally just enforce it anyway.
a court case that goes
Wow.
against exactly that. And that's
I don't like a president just ignoring
I'm not
them
saying
completely
it's
either.
the best thing to do, but like if I truly believe
Politics
we're a danger
sucks.
to the country, I would simply enforce it anyway
I
and let
know.
the courts hash it out.
I think things,
That is actually in there for that specific reason. That's supposed to be one of the checks on the judicial branch's power.
yeah.
Yeah, but that
Enforce
takes
the law.
to not be able to enforce the law to even
I'm
to
sure
the
they've
president.
said, "Oh yeah, we can totally enforce the law," but it doesn't fucking matter what they say because they can't actually enforce the law. Nobody is required by law to listen to them. That doesn't mean people won't, and it doesn't mean if you abuse that kind of authority or that kind of check or balance that it wouldn't get you wouldn't have like a general uprising if you did it the wrong way at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it would. If the president did it, nobody could do anything. I'm just saying the judicial branch couldn't do anything. It would have to be Congress that would act.
Yeah.
But if Congress is backing it's No,
You have
at least there's no absolute power. You know,
Yeah.
that scares the shit out of me.
That's the benefit, is that you can have the president even himself removed.
Yeah, that's thank God for that.
But see, that's where that is, where it's like, to remove the president, you have to have the Congress, because that's where impeachment comes.
Yeah.
And so this is the part where you have to have, if the Congress is backing the president, then you have to have something backing, like you have to have another power to be able to pretty much attack, or at least go against the president.
Or check
because if Congress is like,
and the judicial branch can hand out all the decisions against them that they want.
But then if they don't have the power to enforce it, then they can talk as much as they want, but they'll never actually get anything done, which is pointless. And that's not a check.
Not one of their authorities, yeah.
But with the very first case, like one of the very biggest cases that the Supreme Court has had, was literally when they called the president to court. And it's like one of the very first ones. It's like a super historic case where they actually get it shows what their power actually is.
That was basically them overstepping their boundaries, though.
No, really, it's not. It's them proving what.
Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the case where they said, yes, we can require the president to show up to court?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
Then what are you talking about with them not being on that power?
That's not the Supreme Court enforcing their authority over anybody. That's the Supreme Court making a decision and saying, no, you have to show up to court because we're one of the branches of government, and that's not. We can't have that kind of like situation where you're like,
above the law.
Show up.
But it's still saying something where
saying like, we've handed down the decision that your executive order is not okay, and they can't take control of the police and the military to enforce their decision if you decide to do it anyway.
If it's considered unconstitutional in their eyes, then that's how the decision has to go.
Wouldn't have any authority to do it. It would have to be Congress that steps in.
Then they'll have to step in and say otherwise. Like that's where the checks and balances come from. If the Supreme Court says this is unconstitutional, the Congress has to go do something about it.
It's there specifically to prevent the judges from just making laws. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we're talking about the same thing, going about it a different way. Like I think that's really where this is going, because because when I see it, it's the judicial branch takes a law and goes, I don't think that falls under the Constitution, and it will be determined under whoever has ends up looking at it, and that's the problem. Or that's a good thing in itself, because it'll take a law and say these are the people who are appointed. These are the people who are appointed by the president. These are people who are accepted by Congress. So they are hopefully sharing the similar views. Not everybody.
Hopefully they're appointed by the president prior to, and so we're getting a regular mix of people. So it's never all biased in one way or another.
And that's where you get the double-edged sword of the lifetime appointment. Yeah. Because, a presidency lasts 4 years, if not 8 years. If you have a 10-year, tenure or, I guess, appointment for being a president, you get 2 years without your person. At minimum. Maybe 6 if you're lucky, if they don't get reelected. So it's like, and then that's the next person that will come in after you. So really, the whole lifetime thing, I can understand being beneficial in some cases, because you're going to have people who are new and old in the Supreme Court. But then you start getting to the more dramatic part where it's like this guy's like wearing a fucking diaper and falling asleep in court, where it's just like, okay, that's a little too much. We need like a happy medium, maybe, where it's like, you have like a full
it should be an appointment for like 10 or 20 years or something like that.
I would understand maybe something along the lines of like 15, 20 years, where it's like
there should be an aging out part too. Like you can't be a Supreme Court justice if you're over 65.
Yeah, you should have to be tested for like lucidity at some point.
I think that's probably a better way to go about it. Like, where it's like how you might be 65, but if you're still pretty with it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a with it 65-year-old.
Yeah,
but up until 65, they can still test you for mental competence if it starts to become a concern.
I knew a lady that was 90 years old that had it more together than a lot of people.
It happens. It's just not common, unfortunately.
It's not common.
And I think that's something we could definitely agree on.
Check on it.
Where it's like it's. I don't think the lifetime appointment is very intelligent because it causes people to hold on to their position well past their necessity. Because
well past the benefit to society. Yeah.
Definitely. Because there's definitely been those situations where it's like, I'm not going to move because I don't like the president that's in power, and if I live this out for another 2 years, there'll be another president. So and I feel like if that person's someone I like, I will step down. And there has been that.
And then they're just playing.
That's benefited.
That's a dirty pool too.
Wait, I think I figured it out though. Just a minute. I think I figured out what you were trying to talk about and what I was trying to talk about. So the president can enforce it anyway, despite the circuit court's opinion, like their judgment. He can ignore that and enforce whatever the regulation or something he wrote is. They can in turn kick it faster to the Supreme Court, who has more authority.
Yes.
So instead of it taking like 3 or 4 years to go to the Supreme Court, they could kick it immediately.
If he oversteps his bounds,
and then the Supreme Court can call him into court
or something.
Potentially, he would be removed from office by Congress.
Yeah, but
the Supreme Court can't remove him. But I think the Supreme Court could actually.
Is there a punishment for a president like that isn't just you're removed from the presidency? Like
no,
you're just removed.
It's
like
either just
from the presidency.
You don't get a slap on the hand or anything.
Once you're removed from the presidency, they can then press criminal charges against you. So far, we haven't seen if that'll succeed because whenever that occurs, the vice president is put in office, and they almost always, they're always going to write a pardon.
Yeah.
Partly because they just wanted to save face for the country, just so they can be like, look, we're not going to fucking have.
We're not going to drag this out.
Country locked in jail. It's better to just have him disgraced and removed from office politically abroad than it is to have him put in jail.
Yeah.
We don't want to set that precedent because then maybe countries will try to fuck around with our system and try to lean towards that when they don't like a president. And they're like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Yeah, and then who's going to want the office as much either? But yeah, I don't know. I think they should be going to jail. I don't disagree with that. If you had to get thrown out, you should probably do 5 to 10 years in the fucking prison.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you did something bad enough to where you're getting thrown out of the presidency, then yeah, you probably deserve some sort of punishment.
You already have to do something pretty bad
besides
to get impeached.
Yeah.
Oh, I love peaches.
The thing they're going for Trump with impeachment now is probably not going to happen because the only person who could really
remember the blowjob impeachment.
Well, that was they were voting to impeach.
Yeah,
that wasn't actually because there's two different kinds of impeachment.
Remember when the biggest thing we had to worry about was the president got a blowjob?
Yeah. Well, are you really concerned about the Red Scare? I mean, honestly, because I think it's all nonsense. But I know there are people that are.
I just think he's an asshole, and he's done enough to just not be a president. That's really. I think he's done enough where it's just okay, you're done. And
yeah, that's not how that works, but yeah.
And I understand that's not how that works. So clearly,
I'm saying, do you think he actually had anything to do with Russia? Do you honestly believe any of that stuff coming out?
It's hard. It's hard not to. I can see definitely how intoxicating that is.
Before the election, I remember him saying he was super buddy with Russia, and they're great, the greatest pals ever.
He was talking about wanting to work with Russia instead of against Russia because Hillary was talking about the no-fly zones and essentially talking about policy that would kick off World War III.
But now it's now we're one step away from war. We were so close. Remember when in the 80s we were supposed to hate the Russians and the Russians were supposed to hate us, and it was supposed to be a big thing, and then we all kind of got over that.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe any of this stuff now.
And then, except for the anti-gay thing, it's I grew to kind of like Russia.
Yeah.
I like the Russian culture and things like that. And then all of a sudden, we're at war again. We're supposed to hate each other like we did for decades.
Yeah, I feel like it's just propaganda. It's just propaganda and bullshit that's based on nothing.
I think.
We hated Russia once, so maybe we can get everybody afraid of Russia again, and then we'll do what we want instead of what.
No, we need to hate China.
Yeah.
That's the real people. We have to hate somebody. Come on.
Well,
North Korea.
China's going to collapse within the next.
Yeah, I don't think China's going to. It's going to try to call in its debt with America before it collapses.
Yeah, but they're outsourcing.
We're not going to be able to pay them. We're going to be Sorry.
They're making the same mistake we did in like the last couple of decades where we outsourced all our labor to other countries.
Yeah.
China's outsourcing almost all of their labor to Africa right now.
There's still a shit ton of factories in there, though.
Yeah,
There's
but
like
a substantial amount of their labor is
Outsourcing-
being outsourced.
You know, outsourcing isn't completely the devil.
It isn't, but it really can fuck your economy
But it
when the
can't.
majority
Yeah,
is getting
but if
out
you
there.
give away your entire economy, like you're not helping the little guys anymore
Yeah.
either.
Essentially,
like
they're
outsourcing-
basing.
Outsourcing lifts up, you know, third world countries. You know, it brings them a little bit closer to the type of life that we have in the first world country. So that's good. But if you give away your entire economy to the point where you're like a third world country yourself, then you ain't helping them anymore. Like you're not going to be able to. You're not going to have the resources to help lift them up anymore either.
Economy is sort of like having a reservoir.
Yeah.
You know, like you have a certain amount
There's only so much of it,
of materials.
of resources. Yeah.
And if you just send all of your materials out and give them to all these other countries so that specific individuals in your society can just hoard all of the resources,
Yeah. Hoard
you're fucked.
hoard all of the stuff that equals resources.
Yeah. Essentially, you're bribing other countries so that these people can hoard all the resources.
And you know, and we're so goddamn dumb in America that we set up all the laws to where it's like, yeah, send all of our labor elsewhere and we'll get all sorts of tax breaks and it'll be way cheaper.
A substantial amount of it is fucking legislation from the bench. It's Supreme Court decisions that had nothing to do with constitutionality. Where it's court decisions that violate.
I don't know on that level. I just think it's fucking dumb that we were so fucking short-sighted.
The Supreme Court ruled,
you know,
that corporations were the same as a person and were legally allowed.
Oh yeah, that should have
never have happened. That's completely in defiance of our
that
Constitution.
pissed me off so much. Anytime I think about that, the idea that the corporation's a fucking person, it's like, how do we send that corporation to jail? How do we, how do we do all the normal things that we would do to a person, to this corporation that you say it is now a person? Like,
I like how we've tried so hard not to talk about politics, and man, did we dive.
No, I didn't want to talk about the fucking terrorist attack.
If the corporations,
I don't have a problem with
we're
politics.
going back to the corporations are people. If the corporations are fucking people, then everyone on the board of that corporation should be a part of that person, and they should all fucking go to jail.
Yeah, anytime a corporation violates
Fuck
laws,
you.
the people who are at the very top of it should have to pay the penalty.
Fucking corporations
In
a
jail
person.
time.
That infuriates me.
I say we put fucking Nestle in fucking jail for stealing water from all these third world countries, man.
Yeah. Just Nestle, not the dudes that gave the fucking okay. Just the name
everybody
Nestle.
in the company.
Oh yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you.
We
But what they
imprisoned the whole
want to do
company
is just say,
from the
no. You got to get Nestle in trouble. He's a different person than us. We had nothing to do with him, Mr. Nestle.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, dude.
But see, you might not agree with all the things I talk about when I talk about like these issues with like legislation from the bench, but you have to give me the consistency factor. I don't like it from any party.
Very consistent.
From any side. I want the judges to just interpret the law. I don't want them making new ones like they keep doing.
Yeah, and to be honest, if they're having to do that to offset another problem, then we need to fix that problem too.
Yeah. Well, and it comes into account when you talk about things like the Patriot Act. They have secret courts with secret definitions of the terms in order to make it legal.
And no oversight.
Yeah. And that's another case where it's legislation from the bench, which is what I don't want to see the judicial.
And no oversight and the ability to make decisions. That's a dictatorship almost, you know.
And it's specifically because we don't vote for the judicial branch. That's the really big issue is we're not choosing them, and that's a big issue.
The problem is it's trusting your president.
Well, that's why I wanted the president to fucking just gut him and be like, hey, guess what? You can't enforce the law. You can only determine whether or not you think it's legal. So I'm going to do it anyway because this is a real clear and present danger to the United States. Now, I don't think that's necessarily true, but it would have been a great opportunity to really fucking...
But isn't that enforcing it, considering it constitutional or not constitutional?
What
do you mean?
Because let's say you write a law.
We're back to this again.
No, because this is me trying to clarify.
Oh, this is an important point. I get it.
Because it's writing a law saying like I want to do this, and then
He didn't write a law.
Well, no, so then anything. It's like writing something.
They
Saying
interpret.
like I want to
the
do
law.
this.
Yeah.
And then they take it and go, that's not. It's like I don't consider that constitutional.
Yeah.
So the person's gonna be like, I'm gonna do this anyways. They're enforcing the fact that you shouldn't do it because it's not constitutional.
No, they're not. The judicial branch is saying it's not constitutional in defiance of the actual Constitution.
Yeah.
He wrote an executive order, which is a standard power granted to the president of the United States.
Yeah.
It never should have gone to court in the first place because on the face of it, it's very clearly within the Constitution what he did.
The order or
And
what
with
he did
that,
as the order.
but hold on, with that power comes also the ability to abuse that power.
Yeah. But
So
they chose to review it despite its legality and to rule against it in political because of their politics and not because of the law. And that's where I draw the line. And that's why I think in that specific case,
Then they need to.
Okay.
If that's how they want to rule, then the law
Yeah.
itself needs to be changed.
well, and I think that in that specific case, what could have picked up that kind of situation where potentially there could have been a change to that and would have reined in some of the abuses of the judicial branch would have been to do what I'm saying is to just completely just throw the system on its ear and say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm calling in the big
call their
guns.
bluff and see what happens.
Yeah, it's like when they were talking about appointing what's his name to the Supreme Court.
That guy.
One thing I think Trump actually chose right. Like the guy is a hardcore constitutionalist. So I mean, he's not really Republican or Democrat. The guy they appointed to the Supreme
His
Court.
agenda is the Constitution.
When you look at his history, he really is straight up like he's
Yeah, I'm
very
cool.
much
I'm
about
cool
the
with
law.
that. I'm down with an impartial
But in
judge.
order to get him into place, they had to overturn the filibuster because the Democrats tried to use a filibuster to prevent them from being able to vote, so that they'd have to pick someone else. And so it's like sometimes you just have to pick that nuclear option to be like, look, we can't fuck around. We need to actually follow what the will of the people are. We need to follow what the actual Constitution stands. And all these little things that we've come up with over time that sort of circumvent that, we need to kind of start, reining that shit in and getting rid of it wherever we can. And so, like, there's some things that are happening that I don't think people realize really are for the best in the long term, and they might not suit their own personal politics now or what they want right now, but over the long term will be beneficial to the country as a whole. That's why I'm not like, oh, burn him alive. I think he's made some bad choices. I don't think we need a fucking wall. That's in Mexico. It's not going to fucking. That's
I
not.
never
Gonna
thought
help.
having reality show president was a good idea, but it's like I haven't been happy with any presidents. Like I think they're all fucking corrupt is the problem.
If nothing else, the fact that it was news that he was sticking so closely to his campaign promises in the first couple months really made a big point. I think hopefully to a lot of people really understood how fucking absurd the system got.
Yeah.
When the national
I think
news is like, this motherfucker's doing what he said.
I think the funniest
This
thing
asshole.
was they asked him about his opinion on something and he was like, well, yeah, well, I just said that while I was trying to get elected. Like that's over now. Like here's the real truth.
Did he do that? I'm not at all surprised.
He's
'cause that's
just
every
like a guy.
politician.
He's like every other politician out there. Like, why did he think he couldn't be a politician? Like that's exactly what they do.
Say one thing and do another.
I only looked at him as the lesser evil between him and Hillary, just because I think she would have absolutely started a war. Maybe not necessarily World War III, but definitely a lot more.
I think we're going to be at war no matter what.
Yeah,
I think it would have been worse with her, though, to be honest, because I think she was so much more in bed with the people that would have made the money off of it.
Yeah, but if you really, if you really look at this, it's like, oh well, that was going to be a terrible war, but this is going to be a war too. It's like either way, we're in a fucking war. So it's like,
no, I get it.
It's like, I don't know. I'd rather be in this war
I'm
than
not
in
sure.
this war.
I'm not sure the position America's in right now. It would have mattered what president we have. Like I think we're still
getting slowly bent over the
into
table.
some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not because of what we're going to do with the new president, but because of the shit we've been doing for years and will probably continue to do.
it's just a boiling point that we're just it's just gonna get fucked no matter what. And I think it's more.
It's all going to hell, guys. We're officially the old people now. We're sitting around going, it's worse than it's ever been.
It's worse than it's ever been. It's just getting to a point where it's like, I think who did we want at the wheel when the shit hit the fan? Like that's really.
Yeah.
I think that's what this decision was. It's like.
Let me interject just one little bright point, and then you guys can make your counterpoints, and we'll call it a night.
Sounds good.
I'll give you guys the last word for sure, even though I have the button of power on my side.
Yeah.
I do think that we have a benefit of a president who is probably more likely to negotiate and work with other people to come out with deals. I hate using that word, but deals or some sort of solution to a conflict other than Marshall. I think. You
think Trump is more likely to work with people?
I think he's more likely to try to work out some sort of.
No, see, I don't agree with that.
Okay, hold on. Let him finish.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry.
I think because I don't think that his corruption is going to lead towards the actual military-industrial complex to the extent that I think Hillary's would have. I think she was far more in bed with them. I think he basically paid his nut by doing that $100 billion deal. And then that's fucking probably all he gives a shit about. He's like, all right, I made these people happy so they won't have me assassinated. Now I can move on and try to work on some other shit.
And see, I think he's just like the hot-headed reality show asshole that if he doesn't get his way, he's going to throw a tantrum. And then all reasonable discourse goes out the window. Like, that's what I see from Trump.
and from what I've seen, negotiation, air quotes, with Australia. Pretty much his comments with Australia. If you can look that up, and that's going to be an easy find. And his negotiations with
never heard of Australia, actually.
Yeah, and how his negotiating prowess is pretty much zilch to none. Besides making a business deal selling a bunch of military equipment to Saudi Arabia, that is pretty much as recent as it is.
I think he'd be great at striking deals. I just don't know how much he's willing to bend and compromise.
I think on the international stage, he's full of shit. When it comes down to not selling military might, when it comes down to not selling our product, when it comes down to actually making a negotiation and trying to meet in the middle or trying to enforce something, I think the instant he doesn't get his way, he's just going to crumble. He just doesn't have nearly as much a backbone on the international stage. When it comes down to business, I think he figures out some way to succeed. I don't know. But when it comes down to that,
let's see, politics and business are so fucking similar now.
In some instances,
he succeeded in politics, being a businessman.
In some instances, yes, but in some instances, no. And I'm seeing that where it's there's true international leaders where they're just no. And what does he do? He turns to Twitter. It's just that's not going to do anything. You can shit on. That's no one cares.
That's the price you pay for having the reality show president.
Yeah, and that's where it is. It's
get his audience involved.
Yeah, I'm glad he can make business deals, and hopefully he brings in some money. Hopefully, it brings in money to the actual citizens of the United States, and not just lines his pockets. And that's fine and dandy and all, but it's going to end up, what's that going to have as a chain reaction to other people? Because if we're giving military might to certain countries, that's going to bolster them, and was it going to fuck over other people?
Yeah.
It's so how much do we want to take that money in, knowing full well that it might screw over other people's lives? And that turns, it's okay, how good of a president is he actually being when it comes down to, on the international stage, when someone pushes back, what does he do? Is he just going to,
I think that makes him an average president.
Trying to be a peaceful negotiator, trying to make something happen without bloodshed? Or is he just going to pee himself and then go straight to Twitter and talk about how much he's being treated unfairly?
No, he won't pee himself. He'll get pissed off about it.
And that's the part where I don't care how much people distrusted Hillary. When someone is sitting at the international stage, you're in the big leagues, man. You cannot be any higher with power. And you're sitting there turning to Twitter at any point in time because something didn't go your way. I instantly can't trust you. I instantly can't stand behind you. And I just can't believe it.
Well,
And it got to the point that Stabby.
I don't necessarily agree with that because, like, if, like, the fact that the president wants to communicate with the general public, I think that's a good thing. I may not necessarily agree how he does it.
Yeah, and I think it's the way he pursues it that I can't I can't believe. It's like
I don't think
someone, if a president wants to tweet, like, if he just like said a bunch of random shit and that's just like funny and stupid, then that's fine.
Well,
like you can use Twitter. Like I'm not saying that. Like you can use social media as a means to try to connect with.
But you're saying that his social media Twitter is like just as toxic as a bad like
it's
Twitter
like trying
account.
to start a flame war. It's like people with YouTube channels do it. We talked about in the beginning of this, like
like YouTube, like
trivial
YouTube
fucking
drama.
YouTubers were doing drama. Like that's the same level I take that. That shouldn't be like, oh, the president's talking.
So you want them to be more professional than that?
I want to give just one little counterpoint to what you're saying about the Twitter thing.
Yes, please.
There is a point to he got elected into office on the backs of people, not on politicians. And there are a lot of people on both sides of the fence that don't like him.
Yeah.
And I think what he's doing with Twitter, and it's not always what he's doing with Twitter, but I think a lot of what he's doing is putting into the hands of the people so that they can pressure the people that are against him. So he can reach out with his Twitter account and talk about Joe Blow, the senator from Tennessee, who under normal circumstances would never even be mentioned.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, this guy's fucking us over in Congress right now. How about you guys in Tennessee have some send him some messages and write him some letters about how you don't agree with his defying the choices that you guys sent me here to make.
That's a good point. Like I understand that. That's an effective way.
I just want to put that out there. I'm not saying that's every single Twitter. I'm sure some of
it's reminiscent of.
Because for every one of those, you might have another one where it's him saying one thing. He'll say one thing during a news interview, and you're like, well, there's that Twitter post you made like a year ago that says the exact opposite of that thing. And I can understand people changing opinions. I'm all for people like, hey, this is how I saw it one way. Like people pulling shit out of like 2005. You know, like you had this kind of opinion back then. I'm like, people can change their minds by that point. And so, but it's like, if it's a year ago, that might be a little fresher in your mind than you think. And it's just like,
maybe he's not changing his opinion. Maybe he's changing his stance because he doesn't think people agree with the original one. What they want is the new one.
But it's hard to believe somebody saying like, hey, 6 months to a year ago, this is my stance. Now I think otherwise. Oh, yeah. It's more along the lines of, I'm just trying to shift my words to not have you hate me, as in, this is my opinion. Well, I mean, 10, 20 years ago,
being a president,
I probably grew up a little bit by this point.
Being a president will also probably shift some of your viewpoints.
Yeah, it's happened
like realizing
so often.
Like after you've criticized other presidents for doing something, and then you get into office, and it's like, oh,
that's
like that type of thing.
And if you owned it, and if you owned up to it, then I would totally understand.
Oh yeah,
owning up to it. I don't see the ego allowing him to own up to it. I don't see any politician's ego allowing them to own up to that.
I think if it was somebody like, hey, like him bashing about how Obama like made all these executive orders and fuck how terrible that he did, and then he turns around and fucking makes a ton. If he's like, hey, when I made that comment, this was clearly when I didn't understand how the fucking job went, and this is what I feel like I need to do to be effective. Whether I like it or not, he's at least saying like, I didn't understand on the outside looking in.
Yeah, owning that shit is something that I respect a lot more than someone who's pretends that they've always made the perfect right decision.
Yeah, and that's where it's like I try to be reasonable with somebody that I already.
But no one in politics does that. No one in politics ever owns up to that shit. Is the problem?
That's the sad part.
Him owning up to it would be seen as a weakness in
a
lot of people's eyes.
Leave that there because we can definitely go back and forth on this a lot because we definitely share a difference of opinion on a lot of things. But
we don't hate each other, and we don't have to build a wall in between us or anything.
I am gonna build a wall, and I'm gonna have you pay for it, Stabby.
Oh no, he's gonna wrap this up on that note.
He's gonna block off West Main.
Look at that. We talked about politics. Nobody ended up screaming or dying.
Wow! I think my pulse is still going. Hold on.
We'll figure out what our schedules are going to look like via Skype and all that shit. We'll put an update or something like that.
Sounds
on the
good.
channel.
Yay.
And thank you all for joining us. This is Untitled Studios signing off.